Welcome back to the Hobby Chop Podcast. This is the podcast for the people. I am Big Ken. He is Zip. And we've got some special guests in the house tonight. Welcome tonight to the show, Adam and Dan from the Cardboard Association. Fellas, how are you doing tonight?
What's going on, guys?
Doing well. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday to you, Adam. I think I've tried to get you on my solo. I mean, it's been 2 years. I mean, you're a hard guy to get on, so I'm glad we were able to get you in here tonight.
I'm happy to be on. I know I apologized due to the last time. It's just busy time in life right now.
Yeah. Well, it always is, right? I mean, you're a teacher, right? Mm-hmm. I was a teacher, and I know I taught in a prison, which is like teaching in an orphanage, right?
I did 3 years. I did it
in a prison. Yeah. Wait, you're in public school now, though, right?
I'm in public now.
Yeah. So, I mean, your time is really not your own in public school. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you factor in, family, kids, coaching, and all that stuff. It's just, it's a lot.
And the hobby.
And the hobby. I got to be very careful when I step out with from the family with all the things we do with cards,
And if your wife's not involved in it, they really don't know what's going on.
Oh, she hates this so much.
What's great about this too, Ken, is it just so happened as soon as I asked Dan if, hey, you want to come on, Adam became available all of a sudden.
Whoa, I didn't know about that. I talked to Ken.
Just crazy timing, huh?
Right?
Like our parents are taking us on vacation, and I'm like, Adam's my guy, and you're like, Dan's my guy.
Yeah, hey, the stars aligned.
Yeah, all worked out.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit, you guys. I know, Adam, you're one of the founders of the Cardboard Association. Before we jump in and I get the information, just give us a little background, both of you, Adam and Dan, your hobby background, how you got into the hobby, what your past in the hobby has looked like.
Dan, I'm gonna let you start. I've been talking too much.
All right, yeah. So as far as the hobby, I mean, obviously I started collecting cards as a kid, right? We used to go down to the Cape. There was a little sports card shop in Yarmouth I used to hit up every year when I was down there. And then in Wells, when I go up with the family, there was a little sports card shop that I'd go to, and I would just buy packs of cards and rip them there in the shop as like a kind of thing I would do with my earnings from allowances and stuff. And, I had a small collection as a kid, nothing ever overly valuable that I thought, though the shop in Wells is where I ended up buying my first Brady rookie card, Bowman Brady. I got it for, I think it was like $50 back in the day. Stupid cheap. And I remember at the time I got that, I was like, oh man, this is a lot of money to spend on a card, because I was like 13 at the time. And I remember when I bought it, he had a bunch of the Bowman Chromes for like $200 or something, $250, and I could have bought, looking back on that, big regret, I didn't buy one of those instead. But so I started off like that, and then I kind of got away from it. And then back probably at the end of COVID, there was, it was just so popular that I saw more and more people getting involved in it. And there was a shop in Beverly that I got involved with that, I just helped out around. That's how I ended up going back to shows, getting to meet Keith, Adam, and some of the others in the Cardboard Association. And then here I am. And that's kind of where I've, my whole full circle back into the hobby. But yeah, it's been fun getting back into it. And I, owe a lot, not trying to blow smoke up Adam's behind, but him and Keith really have helped get me to where I'm at because of Cardboard Association and all the connections that it's brought and all the different shows we've gone to.
And I remember the first time I met Dan, it was at a trade night at CC's.
Yep.
And I just sat with Dan like the whole night, just at this table. I think it was us three.
Yeah.
And I think Keith too. And it just sat there the whole night, just hanging out with those guys. And ever since then, I feel like I have just, and I've said it on this podcast multiple times. I love the Boston card, circuit and the people up there. Like that's like where I would always go if I can, but I'm in Connecticut, so it's a hike sometimes.
I mean, it's funny. I remember that exact night because I bought a Ted Williams Bowman off of you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. Yep. And then I remember I bought first comment coming in.
Of course it's Ahmed.
I think whoever was it, I don't even know what to say. Ahmed.
Yeah.
I think we said the same thing, right? I
did.
Said, like Barry White, and he just said your voice is sexier than he expected.
He was soothing. He was soothing us with that voice.
Yeah. So what about you, Adam? What's your journey here in the hobby? So obviously you were in before COVID because Dan met you there.
I started right. I got back into it right around COVID. As a kid, we had the Methuen Mall right next to the next town over from Haverhill. Used to go in there all the time, buy cards. I had a PC at a very young age. I collected Emmitt Smith and Jerry Rice cards. I used to buy the ones that come on the wooden plaque, stuff like that. Just like that, nothing of true value. My uncle was always into cards as a kid. We used to talk about his Mickey Mantles that he used to flip back in the 60s, and it would drive him nuts. He used to tell stories how he made it across the United States on Willie Mays cards. Just selling in the 70s, selling Willie Mays cards from town to town, making it all the way to California. So I guess there's always been some little card, whatever, involved with me. But then I took years off, like high school, college. I remember making fun of my brother for collecting Pokemon, when it first came out. And then one day during the pandemic or right after it, I walked into Keith Ellis's house and he's got this round like dining room table and it is covered in cards. And I really hadn't looked at cards in so long. And I was like, what is that? And I remember him at first saying, nope, don't even ask. This is my thing. And then I bugged him. I was bored out of my mind. I wanted something to do. And he got me into a Patrick Mahomes line, silver. And then this is back 2020, 2021, where PSA 10s were going for like $15K, like insane. And I bought into the mini, hit the mini for one spot, and then won the Patrick Mahomes.
You're hooked. That was
really from there I was hooked, and I had a passion of just like collecting cards and then flipping them, and really the trade nights at Case Hits in Haverhill that exploded everything I was doing. I would go in there with like $20-$30 cards and trade for $20-$30 cards, and it just kind of like escalated up from there into kind of what we're still building, I would say. But that's it. That's how I got into it. That's when I was a kid.
So you guys started Cardboard. Well, you were one of the original founders. I just want to say that. And I know, Dan, you came in a little bit after. But, Cardboard Association, what was the vision when you started it to what it's become?
It's always been kind of different than these RAS groups, these buy-sell trade groups. We wholeheartedly wanted to build a community, really New England-based, for all the guys that we see at the shows, the vendors that set up, kind of like just a platform where you can come, show your cards, talk crap. We do run, raffles and stuff like that. We've done breaks. We've done mystery boxes. We've done all that. But at its core, at the foundation, we wanted a community where we can build the hobby that we all love.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, and just since I've come in, I think that's the big thing, right? Like, we don't want to, I don't think we want to be one of these groups that it's a buyback. You call them the buyback groups where everybody's lining cards way over comps, and nothing wrong with that, completely fine, and everybody makes their money. But we it's all about community in ours, and we like to have just the camaraderie amongst the folks. We take pride on the fact that we're one of the few groups, I think, that we can say that there's really not been any scam issues in it. Like, that's one of the big things, knock on wood. I mean, we have a good group of mods and admins that keep a pretty tight, lid on it and make sure that we're not.
Shout out to Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle, big shout out.
Shout out to Kyle, holding down.
Yeah, he's all over the scam. page and making sure that, there's somebody today he picked off in the group that, he's just, and it's just, again, about that. We don't want it to be someplace that people feel like they're forced to join lines or feel like they're forced to jump into claim sales. We want it to be that people are, just have a good time. That's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
How many people do you have in the group?
We're approaching 2K, which we don't flood it, right? Like, we don't go into these big Facebook groups and say, hey, come join our group. We've literally built it show by show, trade night by trade night.
Yeah.
And that's what we want.
We had the little stickers and the business cards with the QR codes on the back. Like, that's, really, it's all word of mouth for the most part.
These little things right here. A little Q code on the back. We don't want problems. We want the guys we see. We love promoting local shops, trade nights like CC and Cards Are. Big shout out to both of them, by the way. Incredible. Local shows like Flippin' and Causeway and Card Vault and all the guys over there. It's just good stuff.
Yeah. Hats off to you guys. I know I've been in a few groups, some I won't mention, along the way over the last few years, but it seems like they all fall apart at one point or another, right? Seems like everybody gets along until nobody gets along, or, people just start going their own way. So hats off to you guys that you're able to build this and keep people coming in and enjoying what's going on and could feel maybe it's a scam-free zone and things like that. Because that's tough. That's tough right now in this hobby. And, you see people all the time online. It's like, beware of this, beware of that. I can't tell you how many times, like, I've gone in and I've commented or I've said something, and Zip, I know I've seen this happen to you, and people immediately be like, they're scammers. That dude's a scammer. I'm like, whoa, I'm not a scammer.
Yeah, let's be honest. That's the WNBA group. It's an absolute travesty.
There's so many watchdogs out there, right? That are maybe a little, overzealous in there too. So if you can find that right balance, it's going to work, right?
Do I want like 10,000 people in our group? Yeah, I do, but I'm willing to we have a nice vetting system. Like Dan said, like, we've had no issues, like nothing. Like we I don't know how we pulled it off, because I know you guys float around Facebook and there's a lot of a-holes all over the place. So
absolutely, it's one of the few groups that I'm in that I feel like every post is like meaningful and not like just like a shit posting. Like, that's like the term for it, right? Like, if you're in so many of these Facebook groups for cards that are like 20,000 and above, it's like there are good posts in them for like sales, whatever, but you have to siphon through all this like junk of like clear scammer, of like this dude's prices are like 5 times above what it should be. Not that mispricing doesn't happen in every group, right? Let's be honest. But like the extent is just clear. It seems like people who are in that group are just legit. Like, I feel like I've never really come across anything like not legit of what is posted in that group.
I think a big tell is like you get newer people to the hobby asking questions, right? Questions that are obvious to us, and they don't get like torn apart in our group, right? Like, like what makes me so happy is sometimes I'll see a post like that and I'll be like, shit, I got to comment on this dude's post, even though I'm like, I don't want to. And then I look and there's 10 comments. Like someone's already jumped in, and I'm just like, that's it right there. That's a huge difference.
Very welcoming. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, one of the biggest groups, the Sports Cards Nonsense group, which the podcast, those guys have even said it's a cesspool. Like, if they ask like a question, there's 40 like roasting or like sarcastic comments, and then maybe 2 like legitimate helpful comments, and they've admitted that themselves on their podcast. But yeah, whenever I've asked a question or I've seen people ask it in CBA, like, it's always been met with just like sincerity and honesty. So I agree with that.
But I think that's the point. It's like we want people to feel like they can ask those questions, because everybody starts from the bottom in the hobby. Like, we don't come in as an expert, right? Like, you got to learn somehow. And I think it's a good way for us to help kind of just bring that next wave of collectors, next wave into the hobby is by answering those, what we sometimes, the veterans in the hobby may think of as the simple questions. They may not be simple, like how to value a card, how to, where to look for certain cards. Are there other, how to best purchase whatever. There's no dumb questions. I think that's the easiest thing to say is like, and it's just good that the majority of the folks in our group, or really everybody in the group, is about that, and they support that vision.
Isn't it kind of funny that we're a mass-based group and we're known for being mass holes, but we're talking about right now being one of the nicer groups around?
Because it's the true Commonwealth, which is the Cardboard Association. It's
Yeah.
not the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, it's the Commonwealth of the Cardboard Association. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
When you guys started this, I mean, I know where it is now. Did you envision it would make it here? I mean, did you have, the foresight back then to say, oh, this is what I want it to be, or this is where it's going to go, or this is the direction, or did it kind of start moving along and you're like, this is pretty good, cool. Like I never expected it could be this good, or sooner or later this crap's going to fall apart, and then it never did. And you're like, wow, that's all right. We did okay.
I'll tell you, I've never had the thought that it was going to fail. I don't think we ever had, like, other than building the community. It's not like this is we're trying to build like a corporation here, right? Like this is a hobby, and we kept it fun, and it is fun. And until it's not fun anymore, which I don't see that happening for the foreseeable future, I don't see anything changing. I remember having 300 members and being jacked up, being like, oh my God, like 300. I was cool there. I was cool there because I knew it was like 300 guys that I either saw or had some interaction with, either in person, maybe online, but it was like solid. And then now the fact that, I mean, again, we're not a big group compared to the other ones, but seeing it close to 2K, it's like, and knowing the way we brought the people into it, it makes me happy. I'm jacked up about it.
Yeah, and I think the big difference is too for us is that we don't monetize the group, right? Like we don't run flashes, we don't run different things that we monetize it in the sense that we use it to line cards or do claim sales, but the actual, like, we don't have hosted flashes that we make a percentage off of like a lot of other rooms do. So it's truly just that, like, building the community. So really there's nothing to fail. I guess the only way it would fail is if it ever got overrun by scammers and became a cesspool. But until we ever give up on it, like, I really think as long as we're still going strong with it, it's going to remain kind of where it is. And we try to continue to bring new blood in every time we have shows. We try to continue to build it as much as we can, spreading the word and getting people to join so that it's continually getting reinvigorated, because there's the people that come and go too. You'll see over time that there's people that are super active and then they fade off a little bit, and then they come back, and it's just the kind of ebbs and flows of the hobby. But I think that, with every new wave of members, it kind of helps reinvigorate it, because you get new cards, new perspectives, new things that kind of help just keep it fun.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, and I know we met a few years back. Going to the right before the Fenway show. I remember you guys setting up at the Fenway show. I remember you handing out sweatshirts to everybody, and you guys had like a whole row of tables going down. I'm like, wow, these guys are well organized.
You would think.
So, which leads me to the question, like, everybody's, you guys are all selling cards, right? You're selling cards at shows. I mean, what you do in your group, it all has to do with the hobby, has to do with cards, but you go to shows, you're buying and selling. Everybody's lined up. Do you find yourself just buying and selling from each other a lot more at shows than you should? Or it's, you guys are enough in your own lanes that you're not buying from each other, you're not stepping on each other, that it's you're okay all setting up together?
I think it works kind of in our favor. I mean, I feel like Keith, Adam, and I kind of strategically set up all in a line at Flippin', because it helps in a lot of ways. Like, if Adam's getting a deal, he'll usually say, hey, like this guy's got a case of good stuff, and then he may want to buy some of the stuff in there, but he may not want some of it. So then I or Keith jump in, and it kind of helps to, we can build a package deal, and maybe instead of getting cards, at a higher percentage, because we're buying so much from this guy that, we may kind of help each other get a better deal on a package lot. So, and I think that the other kind of unwritten rule that we have for each other on claim sales is we don't outbid each other. And a lot of people don't say that, but like, don't do that. But the three of us kind of don't.
We don't do that.
Bid against. Yeah. We just, if we see somebody's bidding on a card or trying to buy a card on the claim sale, that's their deal. We don't fight each other for it because again, why? Like, we're all kind of in it for the same reason. We're not trying to one up each other. There's plenty of other cards out there for us to try to go for.
And not to cut you off, but that's between the three of you. But you've had a lot more people at a show, but just the three of you. So I'm sure somewhere along the line, sometimes you have to say to somebody, hey, if you see me bidding on something, like school them a little bit type of thing. Because I know, and I'm bringing this stuff up because I set up on a group of people, and I know it's not easy. No matter how well we get along, and we feel like we're a well-oiled machine, it's not easy. They're overstepping, and somebody's buying or bidding on something that maybe it's like I do the WNBA stuff and you do Pokemon stuff, but all of a sudden you're over here trying to buy this WNBA card when I'm already like that type of thing, right? So I think no matter how good your group is, and I'm not trying to point it out and say, oh, but you're going to run into those issues, right?
Adam steals all the good deals at Flippin'. I mean, he'll be the first to say it. Like he schmoozes everybody. He's the mayor there. He tries to take all the good deals from everybody.
I can speak to that. I can speak to that because I first met Adam. I don't even know if we met. We had just been talking through like Facebook, and he couldn't make the Flippin' show, and I was like, hey, like me out of nowhere, I was like, I'll take it. And so many people came up, oh, where's Adam? Where's Adam? Where's Adam? And I got so many first looks at these cards because they're looking for freaking Adam. And I'm not Adam, but I was Adam for the day with the table. And I think there's some truth to that. He's literally the mayor of like the Boston Card Circuit. I swear to God, I've said that for so long. And Ken, I think you saw that too when me and you split his table one day at Flippin'.
And then he came to the show.
Yeah, and then he came there. And then I gave him a good deal because
not only did he come to the show, but he stood by the door and everybody lined up to sell him his cards.
Yeah,
like no, come over here. We're the ones with the table today.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think flipping has kind of turned into like Dan has his people, I have my people, Keith has his guys, like that. I think that's the cool part. I can't ever think of a time. I mean, I give him shit from time to time, but when a nice case of cards shows up at his table, and I'm just like, dang man, why didn't you come to me first? And Dan does the same thing, but it's never been anything I've ever slightly been angry about. And with the other tables, I think we've done a good job. And I'm sure Dan would have brought it up, but like we now have Jared Becker with us who does Pokemon. We have Joe Willis at the end that does soccer. Dan buys a certain way. I buy a certain. I'm always looking for value box stuff. Everyone knows that. And then Keith's kind of he has his own thing too, and he has his own people. So it's like we almost, like you said at the beginning, we stay out of each other's lanes. Yeah. I've never been upset. We poke fun all the time because I see what he's buying. I'm like, shit, I want that. But and I think what Dan said too, there's so much. Jeff does such a good job promoting Flippin', and Flippin' is built so perfectly over the years that there's never been a bad show. Dan, would you attest to that? Like, never had a bad show.
Yeah, I mean, I like barring any sort of bad weather. Like those are even then. Like, I think I can recall maybe one show that had like a poor turnout. It was like there was some cockamamie reason for it. It wasn't like it just was poorly promoted. Jeff does an unbelievable job, and then the Causeway, Card Vault shows too. Like I remember I missed one because I was sick or something, and like to Adam's point, people were like, I got hit up online after like, hey man, we were at Causeway. What, you thought you were going to be there? Like I didn't see you. Blah blah. And I'm like,
yeah,
sorry. Like,
there's about 50 people asking where they are. all times.
Yeah.
Look, I want to say something real quick. Ken, you notice how that banter was, and I've said time and time again, is like there's a different vibe between Boston and New York for the cards. I don't even care. We're in Connecticut. We're Switzerland in this. It's just it feels like so we're in the middle. New York is down, right? That we'd go south, and then Boston is north. It feels like the closer you get to New York, the more scummy it gets, and the more north you go, the more genuine it gets. And I've said that in way like lesser ways on this podcast, but that's just like how they said it right there and how they deal with each other. It's very much that whole circuit. It feels like that. I'm sure.
Listen, I love my team. I love my team. They're very like working with Dan, Keith, Jared, Joe, and everyone else. For the shows is I have nothing to worry about. And then when someone can't make it, we have a nice list of people that we can plug in that we don't have to worry about. You guys, you've been on that list. So many different members in the group. Hey, you want the table this week? Awesome. And I've never had an issue with anyone setting up. We have a good group of guys.
And
I like that flipping show. Not sorry to cut you off. I like that flipping show. I just wish it was closer. Like that
it's all for us.
It's so good. It's made me like I don't need to do other shows. Like that being once a month, I'm just like, keep my wife happy. I don't have to leave as much. I know exactly what I'm going to get. I'll throw some causeways in there from time to time, but flipping is all I need.
Do you guys come down for Mohegan?
I went to Foxwoods last weekend, or last weekend, 2 weekends ago, whatever it was.
I haven't made it to Mohegan yet. I gotta try to get down to the Mohegan Trail. It's been
very solid
on
show.
the list. Yeah, it's like I'm up in Gloucester now, so it's like how flipping's a hike for you.
Yeah,
Mohegan's
absolutely
like a super hike for me. But I think that's one that I might be able to convince the wife to come down for at some point.
You just need to convince her by saying, "Hey, let's get a room."
But it's more about the two little ones. I got to figure out what to do with them.
I took Jared and I took the wives last weekend or whenever the Foxwoods show was. Yeah, we went down with the wives. They drove down around 2:00 in the afternoon, so it took them 2 hours to get there. Jared and I left Haverhill around 8. We spent the entire day at the show by ourselves. It was terrific. And then
I went to that show. I must have missed you there.
You were there?
Yeah.
Oh no crap.
Gordon, you were there too. What day was it? What day were you there? Saturday or Sunday?
No, I ran into him at at Cyrus's table, and I forget his name, but I know his Instagram is Get Your Cards. I don't know I forget his first name, but those two. They're cool too.
Yeah. Joe, who's Cy always set up with? Joe or Anthony? No,
I forget.
I should know his name. I hope he's not watching. That's
I'm terrible with names.
That's so messed up.
While you're thinking, and say hello to Michael, Sports Cars the Hobby. Hey, gents. And Jeremiah Wilson says Adam and Dan are two of the nicest guys I have met in the hobby. Honest and great to deal with. And I could say that about Adam because you and I have done a number of deals, over the Dan. You and I have never done a deal.
I can say that about Dan. I've done several deals.
You're a great guy, Dan.
Several deals with Dan. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that Jeremiah. I've never seen the whole thing, but this dude, he probably has the best Tom Brady collection ever. I see how many Tom Brady cards he picks up from every show. He posts the pictures of them. I'd love to see his PC. Incredible.
Speaking of PCs, who do you guys PC? If I went to your house to look at your PC, who am I going to see?
Can I start, Dan?
Go for it.
All right. So on the right side, I have 2 cases up on my wall. I can't turn. Can I turn it? No, I can't really. You can see the corner of it, but I got my favorite show of all time. I got The Sopranos across the top. There was a guy that used to do the Quincy show that made custom slabs, and it says slabbed, and the L's actually a gun, and then he puts all the Soprano cards in them, so it's pretty cool. I did spurge a little bit. I got a Uncle June auto, a Christopher auto, a Janice 1 of 1, and Adriana La Cerva. You guys know what I'm talking about. And her 101 as well. Two Ninja Turtle cards, and then everything else I collect 2000 to 2016 Patriot autos. I do not have Tom yet. I need Tom, but I have 38 at the moment.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe more. I don't know.
Ken, you used to be all in on the non-sport. You were like, well, you still are like you still have a
We have
PC.
certain things, yeah, Hunger Games and Stranger Things,
I bought my daughter some Stranger Thing cards a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't care. No,
Dan, what do we find at your house?
Yeah, so for me, I have a pretty big Ramondre Stevenson PC. It's that was one of my big ones for a while. I've kind of tuned it down a little bit because I got pretty crazy with it. But I've started. It's mostly Boston sports. I have a bunch of Pats autos, Red Sox autos. The one I'm starting now for my 10-month-old son, I'm trying to get all the Red Sox letter patch cards of different players to spell out his first and last name. So I've got my last name spelled out with autographed letter cards, mostly of John Lester, Papelbon, and Kevin Youkilis.
Yeah.
It's hard to find some of the letters, but I'm trying to get the first name done. And then I have a small wrestling, like nostalgia PC where I've got, Stone Cold, I've got Mankind, Kane, The Undertaker, things like that. So
the Mankind auto is fire. Just
yeah, I have two actually now. I got to decide which one I want to keep in the PC, which one I want to get rid of. But
Don't you have an Undertaker Color Blast?
I did. I got rid of it. I sold it to shout out Luke at Cards R. He bought it off me, or he traded.
Oh, Luke, you snake.
Yep. But yeah, no, it's
funny you mentioned Ramondre Stevenson. I remember his rookie year was 2021, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I remember buying. That was like when I started buying into breaks, and nobody wanted the Patriots that year, right? Or did they? That was Mac Jones's year.
Mac Jones, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe they did. Maybe I was trying to.
Oh,
get
definitely.
Jones, and I kept ending up with Ramondre Stevenson, but I had like 4 or 5 RPAs, like beautiful patches, and I was setting up in Atlantic City at the National, and I remember putting them in the case, thinking to myself, I'm never going to sue. Who wants Ramondre Stevenson? And I remember a guy coming up and being like, I am the biggest Ramondre Stevenson collector. And I'm thinking to myself, you poor guy. Like, that's all I could think about in my mind. Because every time I was like, they're like, Patriot. Oh, it's Ramondre. I'm like, damn it. Right. So for somebody to come up and really want that card, I made the guy a deal. He took him off. There was nobody happier at the National that year than that guy who I sold all those Ramondre Stevenson RPAs to. Yeah.
It's so funny.
A
like,
lot.
yeah, it's like I thought I had like a pretty good collection of his. Like Adam's seen like what I bought in the last couple of years of his stuff, 101 RPAs, like gold auto, stuff like that. And then I started talking about it and I find out, shout out Eddie Mel. He probably my biggest competition, and then actually another dude in our group, Dan Jones. Probably he might actually.
Oh man, his
might actually have me one upped for sure on his Ramondre PC was banana land, like insane.
Ridiculous.
And I kind of hushed me up real quick and humbled me pretty quickly on how nice I thought mine was.
He had a really cool setup for him too, as I
did.
remember. They looked really good.
Yep.
So I got a quick question about that. What happens when you have a player collection like that, when you have the heir apparent arrive? What happens there?
Oh.
Yeah, that was
I
mean, like for me, I kind of just like you kind of eat it, right? Like I like Ramondre. I think he's still good. I mean, he's playing
he's balling
out of his mind right now. He's balling.
Yeah.
So I'm happy, but that's kind of why I've stopped. I think I got a little too heavy in it. I think I'm turning my attention more to like the legends. Like I bought a David Ortiz gilded Hall of Fame plaque on card auto out of 5 at CC Straight Night a couple weeks ago. It's disgusting. Like that's the type of stuff
Can I interrupt though, Dan? Wouldn't this be a better time to grab Ramondre?
But like
or wouldn't 2 years from now when he's
like I think for me it's just more of like I have so much of it that I think I'm looking to get into other endeavors for PC stuff and just kind of focus more on the legends, because then the legends you don't have to like, they're already established. Like
you don't have to worry about that. Yeah,
exactly. Like
you don't have to worry about them becoming a dolphin.
And there's the whole nostalgia piece you can kind of lean into too with it. Like David Ortiz is always going to be David Ortiz, and Manny Ramirez is always going to have his place in Red Sox lore. So
David Ortiz is electric on that postseason show. Oh my
Oh,
god,
unbelievable.
dude!
Unbelievable.
That may be the best like sports broadcasting show I've ever seen. That group, they're so good.
The TNT basketball guys might have them one up.
It's
but,
close though. It's close.
No, they I think
I love TNT. They're
they're just Shaq and
They've been around longer
Charles.
together.
Yeah.
I swore. I apologize. I'm not sure.
Well, I guess we got to stop the stream now.
Got me jacked up thinking of Shaq.
So isn't it amazing when we go in on a PC and like we think it's a good idea, whether it's a good idea or not a good idea, but at the end of the day, if the player, stops playing or gets traded or just doesn't become the guy and is benched and practice squad and things like that, I'm like, it's like such tough lessons to learn in the hobby, right? Because once that player goes off there, like you better love that PC. Like you better love that player in that card, because if not, it goes like I have a box here in the office on the shelf of all the people that I've invested a bunch of money in and then never made it, and I didn't sell them soon enough. It wasn't that I made a mistake getting them, because when I was buying them, they were hot players, right? It was not selling them soon enough and getting rid of them. And I think, when I think back to Desmond Ridder, that was my like coming of age in the hobby, right? To be able to go out and buy all those cards and sell them all at the right time, and left somebody else, whoever took those cards from there were the ones, either them or the next people down the line. They would have gotten hurt with those cards, but I wasn't the guy left holding that, that rock.
The thing is, though, with it, like, I think when you get a guy, though, that is maybe not a star, you can lean real heavy into that PC. Like, an example that just popped into my mind, I was on Instagram last week, or maybe earlier this week, whenever all the days blend together, and a guy that comes to Flippin' Shows, Sam Schwartz, has a Will Greer PC, and it is like
we know Sam.
Yeah,
we know Sam. That's our guy.
He has all these flawless RPAs. Like, you can get all these like top end products for dirt cheap, and just lean into it because nobody wants them other than you. So yeah, it's like you're not that. Then you're doing it truly for the love of the card, and you're not doing it for the whole value aspect of it. But I agree. If you're going into it PCing somebody with looking at the upside piece for monetarily, that it sucks when that happens. But if you're doing what Sam does and you're just buying it for, I think he does the whole West Virginia, PC, but Will Greer specifically, then that's awesome. I mean, you kind of almost hope the guy obviously does well, but if not, like, lean into it hard and just get every top RPA that you can get, because you'll get them for dirt cheap.
Yeah.
And the opposite to that too, I feel like you can there's still opportunities to do that, like, and have the crazy upside. Like, you could do that with basketball, I feel like, because there's such a maturation period, like, for years to when they ascend. And then obviously the number one thing that comes to mind is Bowman baseball. Like, even Connor Griffin, who's the consensus 1 overall, his stuff, he was not the chase originally. Like, he wasn't. And same with Nick Kurtz. They were not huge or anywhere close to that what they are now. And that happens every single year. So it's kind of cool where you could do it like your example of Sam, but also you could do it in the opposite of like, hey, I'm going to load up on this buy low guy who has, whatever potential. It's great. In the hobby, you can do all of it, and you can do
Sam
both.
Darnold's a perfect example too. Like, look at Darnold. I mean, he fizzled out with how many different teams, and now he's in Seattle balling, and his stuff is
even last year.
Even last year with the Vikings. It's like, I mean, his stuff, you could have gotten his downtowns for
my god,
something $150, $200, like before last year, and
of Sam a couple years ago.
Darnold,
Darnold. But it's like, but that's the thing. Like, there's those perfect examples of and even when Mac Jones filled in for Purdy earlier this year, you saw his stuff that you could have got for. I sold his autos for like $25 over the summer.
And wild basketball. How about Shea?
To little
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, MVP, champion, finals MVP. His stuff was dirt cheap. Like,
dirt cheap. Yeah, I've never looked at a PC as like something to potentially make money off of. I never did that. For PC, for me, it's like I gotta love it. Like I love the Patriots. I love the players that I grab. It's guys that aren't playing anymore. I mean, if I added up my PC, I mean, we're talking. I think the Julian Edelman rookie auto at $100 or $250 was probably the most expensive card, but I keep it like real cheap with my PC. So for the fact that I'm not worried about prices going
Absolutely.
up and down.
Yeah.
The Soprano cards, those were in a box for $5 a piece, but I'll tell you right now, I think I'd kill for them. That's how much I like them. Yeah. So I've never thought of a PC as a potential to make money. I guess I've never PC'd one person either. Like that's something I've never done that personally. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it.
Well, and also, do you have a PC of anyone that's still active?
No.
That's a big part of it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's a different dynamic in it. Like
everything.
When I was at Flippin', when I had your table, like in 2023, Sean, who set up a cross, came up to me with a PSA 10 atomic refractor out of 100 auto of Roman Anthony, the first auto. Like, dude, please take this for me out for like $200. Let me pull up a comp on that right now. Because it's just different. It's just different, right? Like when you have an active guy, there is fluctuation. Like a lot of those legends, they're not really going anywhere.
I wasn't PCing, but I bought Bobby Witt at a really good time when he first, like right before he popped. I bought like some big cards from the Shriner show in Wilmington, and I lucked out hard on that. I brought those to the New Jersey National show, and I absolutely crushed it.
And just for an update on that card, it sold December 10th, last sale for $4,500. So like it's a totally different thing. But I think you're right though. A true PC, you're not thinking of that. You're not.
Me personally, maybe from hearing you guys talk, I never even considered it. Like those cards aren't leaving. Not one of them. Not one.
And that's what a PC should be.
That's true PC. That's
right?
Until I'm sick of it. I used to do 2008 Topps Chrome refractors. Like I just loved it of all the football players. And I mean, I got sick of that, but I don't know. For right now, I have a 69 Mets, the old cards. I have almost the entire starting infield and outfield. I need a couple more players. But that one I don't even hang up. That one I'm going to keep those forever. So I guess it's no one that is active right now. It's nothing I have to ever worry about. So that's me though.
So as far as prospecting, do you do much prospecting on players as far as, buying them, holding them, or is it just a lot more of the just buy and sell?
Yeah, I don't hold. I used to prospect baseball like crazy. And you know what that turns into, but I don't hold. If I'm not PCing it, it's in and out. I don't care. I don't, it's just right now. Let's do it. Let's get it over with and move on.
That's where Zip and I differ. He's like you. He's in out, comes in, goes right out. Me, I'm like, well, this could be like a stock. If I hold this card for 3 months or 4 months, I could maybe get another 15% or something on it. And I tend to do a lot of that, whether it works out or not. It makes perfect sense in my head. But
listen, if I held every Mac Jones, listen to me, Drake May.
Ken has every Mac Jones.
Yeah, if I held all my Drake May autos because I thought we were going to go on this. I mean, who thought we were going to go on this run? But I mean, I guess it would have benefited, but in the time, I'm still making the profit off of the card,
I gemmed a Silver Prism PSA 10 of his and sold it for like $510 before the season. I was fired up. It's like a 50 card.
Yeah. I know. I sold a bunch of his autos right before the spike. Like I had a Topps Now out of 50 on card that I sold for $450. It's now like a almost $2,000 card. But conversely, like I've also held on to it. Like I'm kind of like you right now, Ken. I have a ton of his stuff like probably like 6 autos. I have a PSA 10 silver that I've sat on, and I got the silver back when it was like $1,000, maybe just under $1,000. It just comped yesterday for 1,900, almost 2,000. So it's like, some of these, like you're sitting, I am sitting on them. I have actually gemmed. I bought in the off season. The only auto I held to this point, I bought a True Blue Topps Chrome refractor out of 150.
Oh, that's gonna be huge.
And I gemmed it, and it was like $300 in the offseason. Last comp on it back in December before the playoffs was $3K.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it's huge.
Those ones I'm holding. I'm kind of playing the waiting game and just seeing what happens on it. But
Dan, ask the question you asked our group chat this week. Let's see what they have to say. Hear what they have. Remember you asked us, right?
Yeah, I guess maybe that's a good question. I guess with that, Ken, say, knock on wood, Pats go forward, they beat Denver, and they go to the Super Bowl. Do you hold May and wait and see how it plays out if he wins the Super Bowl, or is that the time to dump him?
Well, for me, in my mind, right, the week of the Super Bowl to me would be the time to sell that card, because if he doesn't win the Super Bowl, his value is not going to drop. Like, personally, this is what I think. This is my own opinion, right? For entertainment purposes, people. But I just feel that if he doesn't win the Super Bowl, his stuff is not going to drop that much. People are just going to hold his stuff, and then they'll be fired up again come right before this year's national, right? Late June, early July, when the football starts to spike, everybody's going to be Drake May. If you're looking for me, in my opinion, if you're looking to get the most value for it, I would sell it right before the Super Bowl and try to get paid for it too, right before the Super Bowl, right? Depending on how you're selling it. If they win the Super Bowl, I think his prices could go up a little more, but I don't think it's going to go up that much more. You're telling me now that, his silver is up $1,000. I don't know how much higher it could go. There's a lot of people like yourself that are probably saying the same thing. I'm sitting here on this, and if you remember, every time Mahomes won the Super Bowl, everybody's like, okay, sell his cards, and next thing you know, the whole market was flooded with silvers and XRCs and all that, and the prices weren't that good. They were only good for a couple of weeks, and then they would start to drop, right?
That's a great point.
So if people are holding, I'm always, if they're going left, I'm going right. If people are holding, I'm selling. If people are selling, I'm holding. I just think if you do the opposite, you have better results.
I think with the hype, like, it's more exciting. I feel like you're gonna have more people excited to buy one of his cards with the potential of him winning than even if he did win after the fact. He did it, and that's great. But then, like, 2 months later, it's like, oh, what's happening in baseball now?
Well, and I think in the perfect example of that, look at what happened with Tatum. Like, everybody thought Tatum's market was going to blow up once they won the championship, and his market, I think, dipped after it took a dip. And it really has never.
Do you think it was because of like the national? I don't even know the word for it. Like, disrespect. I'll call it disrespect that Tatum got after winning a ship. Do you remember that period of time?
He memed himself to death, and he didn't get the Finals MVP.
Yeah,
I love Tatum.
Yeah,
let's not get that twisted. But that's what happened. We all as Celtics fans don't give a shit about that. But everyone else is like,
Am I wrong? Exactly. There was like this national feeling that he wasn't that guy. Like am I wrong here?
No, but like also he didn't get the accolade. The Finals MVP is like that. I think that was huge for hurting him.
And then Team USA, the Team USA shit, that happened.
That was, it was terrible disrespect. Yeah, absolutely, definitely didn't help. I mean, if it's me, like, so for example, I picked up a lot recently. I have Onyx, like Drake May has Onyx autos.
Yeah,
I got one of the green ink ones at a 50. Like those base ones are doing like $250. There hasn't been a green that's sold in a while. It's going on auction like now, like this week. Yeah. I'm selling it now because like also though, like I'm not a Pats fan. Like if you guys are Pats fans, and that's a whole nother dynamic to it of like, if you really want this card of Drake May to like hold for the long haul and hope you have the second coming of the GOAT, then that's a whole different dynamic. But there's probably a good chance you sell that card and you could get it cheaper, win or lose, in the summer.
Yeah.
That's what
I think we sell Daniel right before the Super Bowl,
Yep.
because we are winning on Sunday.
And Military
I don't know what anyone
Breaker,
says.
my guy, says first world problems. Agreed.
Very true. Very true.
Oh yeah.
Immediately sell a few days before leading up to the big game.
Yeah, I like
Greater
that.
risk if they lose. And you had mentioned something that I didn't say before, and I say this a lot too. If you know the right time, if you can really predict the market and sell the card at the right time, you could always buy that same card back cheaper.
How many times have we all done that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, like
Yep.
I've done that so many times.
Yeah. Sell what do you say, Zip? Sell the what is it? Sell
If you sell it for what is it?
it's the
You
hype
can
in the
never
market.
you can never go broke taking a profit.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Something I really wanted to ask both of you guys. So me, Adam, Dan, we definitely cycle cards out quicker than Ken. Like just a different mindset, different, right? Like I think that's fair to say. I would argue they cycle stuff even quicker than me, Ken, because I have a wait period when I send this stuff off to PC Sports Cards and then they have to run the 7-day auction. These guys are savants at claim sales. Tell us a little bit about what entails for, like, what goes into a claim sale. Like, just first, or maybe explain what that is and then kind of your guys' process to it.
Well, Dan, you want me to go?
Yeah, you can start.
Claim sales, if you don't know, are like online sales. Exactly what they say they are. Instead of you setting up at a show, you go on one of these larger Facebook groups or whatever Facebook group you want to that's sports related, and you post all the cards you want to sell with the price you're asking for, and people come through and make offers, some claim, you know, and it's essentially a show, but you're sitting in your house. That's what it is. Going into it, I love the fact that one man's trash is another man's treasure is so true in this capacity. These claim sales are different. Some people want bigger cards, but I have found over the years that people don't want to spend a lot of money sometimes. So, like, you know, you got guys that just want case hits, you know, autos, whatever, and all the other cards they rip. They see no value in that, and we do. Getting in these claim sales is huge. People want the cards they want, you know, and it expands our market out of Massachusetts and to the whole country. So, you know, you'll sell cards that you would never sell in Mass to a guy in Wisconsin or Tennessee or Texas. What Dan could probably speak to this. Half the people that buy from me are Midwest or South, right?
California. Yeah,
California.
I've sold guys in Hawaii. Like,
Yeah.
Guys
it's
that
just-
don't have the access to card shows that we do in the
Yeah.
Northeast.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's the players. You might get a guy from Wisconsin that's obsessed with everyone, kind of like we were talking about Sam, that's obsessed with guys that played at Wisconsin, you know,
Sure.
the university, you
Yeah.
know, or baseball players the prospects that don't move in Boston because they're not related to the Red Sox, you know. Well, you know, some guy from Texas wants them all, you know. It's fantastic. It just broadens your horizon, and there is a market for the lower end stuff. That's what I would say.
And I think the big thing with claim sales too is that it's not, it's easy in the sense that like anybody can do it, but it takes work, right? Like, and you have to be smart in a sense of like what you're buying, because not everything does sell. Like, there's a lot of times that Adam and I buy stuff and we end up sitting on it for a while, and you know, you like to think you never lose on stuff, but you generally, like, when you're buying it cheap enough, it's hard to really like take that big of an L. But it does take work, and the time you spend taking the photos of all the cards and then taking and posting them, and then, you know, you have to make sure that the photos are, you know, they're coined properly, and then you have to. I think the biggest pain points with doing claim sales is definitely the prep, and then the aftermath of
So
sorting
you guys,
cards.
you guys are taking all those pictures prior to the posting in the comments, or you're actively posting?
No,
in
Do it both ways.
You can do it both ways. It depends on like how big of it. If I'm doing a bigger claim sale, like I say, like if I have like a 2-row box of cards that I'm going to put up, I generally will take the photos first, have them ready to go, and then post, each photo in the thread as I go along.
How
If it's a
many
smaller
cards
one-
are how many cards are in an average claim sale?
It's hard
So
to say.
I actually just changed. I used to do like a 3 or a 4 row, and it was a lot. I was making, they were selling, but it's that exactly what Dan's talking down, the breakdown afterwards of sorting through every card, then making sure the right person has those cards. I mean, you got to be organized, and you got to be able to block off a nice chunk of time. Thankfully, my kid goes to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock. My wife goes to bed early, and I can just sit in here and get it done. But it's grueling. It's worth it, but it's grueling. It's very easy taking the pictures and posting them. It's very easy saying yes to a claim or a counter. But once it's over, you didn't even mention, Dan, collecting. Collecting the
money, chasing
money.
people down for the money and stuff. Yeah, like people will
It's not
claim
like you're
cards.
dealing with this person in front of you,
Yeah.
and there's 1,000 different claim sales. So I've done it too. I get into one, I end up spending $100. I go into the next one, I'm spending $400. I'm just like, shoot, completely forgot about that. But you got to stay on top of the people that are buying. You got to stay on top of the cards that are being claimed. You have to have an off switch. I truly believe there's got to be a time you shut your sale down, because you're just going to lose your mind. And you got to have the time to do it. Shipping on top of everything, people are expecting their cards out in a respectful time frame. So you can't slack on that aspect of it. I don't know how people do it without a label maker. That's just absolutely wild to me.
Yeah, like the people who still manually like handwrite
Yeah,
the
dude.
address, like I would kill myself.
I wouldn't
if
do
did
it.
that. It's like you just be. You need the label maker. That was one of the best investments. It's not, I think, like $30, like on Amazon.
I got a thermal printer. It's excellent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thermal ones, like it's the
I think
best
mine's
investment.
thermal, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. Yeah, mine's
It's the best. And I think that again, as long as, and the biggest bit of advice that I always give to people if they're asking about claim sales is, and I think the biggest thing that makes Adam and I successful with it, price your stuff reasonably. You go and we jump into these other people's claim sales, and they're like over comps, which again, I'm not going to sit there and comp police. Like if I see it, I just move on. But then you wonder, and they wonder like, oh, nobody's claiming my cards. Like why, and you see they post the same cards over and over again every sale, and they're not moving.
Why, huh?
And it's just like, I wonder why it's not moving, because you're just over comps, and then you try to make offers on them at like even a high percentage. Like I'll offer 95% because I know it's a card I might be able to line in the room for slightly over comps and still make a little money, and they won't take it. They want full comps, and all the power to them. But the reason why Adam and I have been successful, and then some of the other folks that we've gotten into doing claim sales, Ryan Meserve, shout out Ryan and the boys, like he has his own little connection of the people up in Maine that he buys from that helps him get good margins, but he sells unbelievable, and he is so successful. Every one of his claim sales sells out. Like he doesn't have cards left over, maybe a couple junk cards, like whatever. But
what are we talking amount wise? Like, what are the values of these cards in these claim sales? I think that's important for
his range. Like all of our ranges are like, I'll have dollar cards up to $1,000, $2,000 cards. Okay. Ryan, when he sells his out, he'll have same thing. He'll have a couple like $5 cards, maybe dollar cards. He does some lots of like 10 cards for $5 or something like that, whatever. But he'll then also throw in, like, I bought a Amin Thompson second year snakeskin 101 auto that was like $900, and he'll have like higher end stuff, that bigger graded downtowns, autos, whatever. But they all sell because he's not pricing them at or over comps. He's pricing them at like a number that is priced to sell. So if you want to be successful with claim sales, yeah, it's hard nowadays because everybody wants every penny out of every card. But if you can buy right, you can sell right. And the easiest way to flip things quickly is just to sell things under market so that you're able to turn and burn things quicker and not try to just squeeze blood out of a diamond on every single deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're
honest, What was that? What was that, Adam?
Say, if you're not buying correctly, claim sales is not the way you want to go. If you're pricing your cards over comps, I mean, that goes for really anything. Unsuccessful guys at shows, running lines, doing claim sales. I mean, people check comps. Everyone today is either on 130 point or card ladder. There's just no point to waste the time of overcomping a card. You know, and it just makes me think of my favorite excuse is, well, that's my comp on eBay. And I'm just like, okay, so like, what are you doing? You know,
Yeah.
So you know it's a bad deal. You know, thank you. But yeah, it's I suggest it to everyone. It's just not as easy as it looks.
Yeah, and you've got to buy in bulk. I mean, I think if you're doing that, you got to go to these shows and buy people's discount boxes or their 2 or 3 row boxes, or you're buying, you know, a good amount of slabs at a good price that you can bring back. Because if you're going to be putting all that work in as you described, because when I was thinking about what we were talking about, I'm thinking about, oh, here's a guy that comes in with like 10 or 15 slabs with prices and you know, go ahead and claim them. But all of a sudden we're talking 2 and 3 row boxes. If you're taking that time and you're taking pictures and you're putting those cars up and putting all it up there, like you want to be way under comps that people are just taking them and they're not even saying, oh, Adam, you know, I see you have it at $2. Well, you take $1.60 or something, like, you know, like something like, you don't want to hear that, right? It's like I'm going to put the card up at $1. Just take it. Right?
Just take it.
Just keep it going because I don't have
the amount of $5 cards I sell for $3, and I know I'm doing a good job because I mean I just finished a claim sale yesterday. I sent out the packages this afternoon, the last of them, you know, and you know you're doing a good job when you put a $5 card out for $3 and people don't even barter. They just like, I'm taking that. Yep, all day. And that's what we're able to do with the way we buy. Again, people walk up to our tables and they think they got trash in their cases and they just want it out of it. And they just want those kabooms and downtowns. And I get giddy, man. I love it. Like, yeah, I'll take that. I want it. I want it.
And the
all.
easiest way that Adam and I find to, you know, not giving away all our secrets, but like the way to convince some people too, and there are the people that are hesitant because, you know, they've either spent a ton of money ripping or they've, you know, bought into breaks and stuff, but then they get all this, you know, bulk of whatever that they're trying to unload. But if you can pitch it to them that, hey, sell me your bulk, you're basically trading it up into a downtown.
That's my go-to.
Nobody, like, you can't go to another vendor and say, I'll give you this 50 cards for a downtown. They'll laugh at you.
Yeah.
But Adam and I are like, okay, we'll buy that from you and give you the money that you can use towards that downtown. And, and essentially you're doing just that. And it's
who's going to say no if you're going to take my trash and give me the money to buy it downtown?
I tell everyone, just look at it as a trade. You're not walking out with that money in your pocket. You know exactly what you're doing. So you're taking your shit, I'm buying it off you, and then you're going to get the card you really want.
Yeah.
And also, if you want to maximize that, okay, go put in all the work I'm about to put in and then chase everyone down for money and then tell me if you still want that downtown after you did all that, right? Like that's a part of it too. That like,
and
I want to run and get a box and come back and ask if you want to buy
else
it.
I think Dan and I left off is being brutally honest with the person that you're about to buy these cards from, right? Like I tell them right off the jump, listen, I will take your trash, what you consider trash, but I got to be at this number. You know, and I'm going to tell you why. You see my value boxes on my table. I have $2 boxes. I have $1 boxes. Half these cards are going right in there. So if I'm selling it for $2, I have to be able to make some money too. You know what I mean? So like, I think what Dan, what Keith, what myself, we do a really good job of just not just beating. Like I feel like a lot of guys beat around the bush to try to get to the percentage. I'm just going to tell you, and I say, if it's not going to work, good. That's fine. I don't want you to sell me your cards and you be unhappy, right?
Yeah. You're not talking percentage on cards that cheap. We're not talking a percentage. That's not happening. Absolutely.
And as a dealer, I'd rather have you come up and make that offer than go through my box and cherry pick all the best cards out and then say, oh, I only want to buy these, but give them to me at 50% or something. Yeah.
And I think that the big thing too is just not forcing it, because again, there's times where people are newer into the hobby and they have stuff that they're they're hesitant to sell. And my biggest thing I tell people is when I'm going through their case, if there's anything you don't want to sell, I'm not going to sit here and force you to sell it.
Yeah.
Like
no way.
there's a lot of vendors that you'll go up to their table and they'll try to pressure you to sell them the cards. And, I remember we were up at a show in Augusta, Maine, and I see this guy at trade nights and stuff all the time. His son, like a little kid, sold a Zion Williamson Optic Blue Velocity, and he was like hesitant to sell it. I didn't push it, but the dad's like, no, it's fine. Like, we'll take the money. And the minute they walked away from the table, the kid broke down and cried. And I remember he came back the next day and he goes, that was the most expensive deal I ever made because I had to make it up for him and go buy a PSA 10 of that card to make it right. Like, at the time, it was like a big card because, Zion was a rookie and whatnot. But it was. But I make it very clear. Like, if there's something in somebody's case they don't want to sell, or even if I sense it when I'm going through,
100%.
I don't sit there and force it, because the last thing I want to do is take something from somebody that they don't really want to sell at a percentage that they probably don't want to sell it at.
And I'll tell you what, you always remember that stuff too. Like if you're the other person, because I remember when I first got back in the hobby and it was all like crazy to me. And I went to a show of just stuff I had ripped and I was really just getting back into it. And there was this guy who he had this wads of cash out of his pockets. And, and I was like, wow. I was like, okay, I'm going to sell him some of my cards. And he's like, before I look in here, just make sure that there's nothing that you don't want. Okay. I was like, okay. And not even knowing, like, there was a card that I still wanted to have that was in there that I didn't realize I put in there if I was at home. And he wanted it. And I was like, oh, that was not supposed to be there. And he was like mad. like he was angry with me. And I was like so confused. I was like, it was an honest mistake. And then I remember just like I took my cards, I left, and I've never like even gone to that guy's table again. You know what I mean? Yeah, and that's the stuff that you remember. And I was so new, and it was just like I remember that stuff. But I also remember the guys when I first got in who were very honest with me, who were very helpful, and were on it. Like that brutal honesty that you talk about, I think is so important, because not only does that make a good deal happen where both people are at least okay with what's going on, but it creates repeated customers too. I think that's the most important part.
Nailed it.
Yep. Your name is everything in the hobby. And I think that if it takes a ton of work to build up your reputation and to get yourself to a spot where you're successful and have name recognition and have people, Adam and I could go and put a vouch post up on Facebook, any one of the groups, and we'll have 1,000 people vouch for us. It took a long time to get there. It takes one bad deal to ruin that and lose all of that. And one bad, and so you have to be careful. Like today, I got a card and I bought cards off a dude on Facebook, and I open a package and the slab is clear crack across it. And it was just whatever. So I hit him up and I'm like, dude, like, got the package, but this is damaged. And he's like, well, it was technically in the photos. And I looked back and it looked more like, how some of the slab sleeves, they look like it's got a piece in it. It doesn't look like a crack. Yeah. And I was like, I didn't know. And he was like, you know what? Cool. Refunded me. No question. Just ship me the card back. Like, it was not a thing. That to me, when somebody is that easy to deal with, I will go back and buy from them 100 times out of 100. Mm-hmm. It's the guy who, when you bring that up to them, they turn around and try to blame you or try to play games with it, or they try to deflect. Then you don't go back and buy from that guy. And it's just, and then I will tell somebody else that I had a bad experience. Conversely, like now I'm going to say, hey, if that guy needs a vouch, 100% going to vouch for him. Yeah. So it's just, I think that the hobby is so big with your brand recognition that you have to do everything you can to preserve that and not do anything that can damage it, because it's just so easy to fall out of favor. You see it all the time. I mean, there's guys that do slimy, shady stuff and over minimal amounts of money, and you're like, well,
so it's so stupid.
But also, guys, I think it's important to recognize it's an unregulated market where a lot of slimy individuals can make bank. Like that's just true though. Like that's 100%. Just true. And I
don't want to be that guy.
No, of course not. But the cream rises to the top, and you see that happen. It's just like the acknowledgement that like some of the biggest names in the hobby, they're not pure, right? Like they're not anything close to that, right? And they've created this pedestal on like skeletons, like, you know what I mean? So like, but to your guys' credit, yeah, I think just making sure you're dealing with the right people is super important.
Yeah, and I think that and the big thing too is there are, for every bad guy that there is in the hobby, there's so many good ones. And
Absolutely.
I mean, like there's so many, like too many names to kind of throw out there, and you'll see like a lot of these bigger groups, there's a lot of, you said like cesspools and stuff, but there's a lot of bigger groups that are great too. Like I think, just off the top, like Six Sports, Ryan Durkee, he does a really good job running his group. He's a stand-up guy, like really, really solidly run group, solid all around dude. And then there's other ones too that like, they do a good job, but it's hard to want to, be super active in there because they just either talk a lot of shit or they are just unreasonable. And I think that that's the biggest thing is just finding your place and finding, what works and just having fun with it and not letting it get too much of, at the end of the day, it's cardboard, right? Like it's all supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be this overly serious thing. It's supposed to be a hobby. And I think that when you lose sight of that, that's where it starts to kind of get annoying.
Yeah. Ken, you want to make a thumbnail? This is a fake that someone sent me from a Facebook deal, so you can make this thumbnail. Me crushing this fake Brady downtown. But I did the return process. I got paid back. This thing, I returned this thing back in like July, and it showed up to my house like a week or two ago, back like return shipping. So I'm waiting to see what happens with that, but I'm just holding on to it. So, but yeah, that'll be a great thumbnail, huh?
Yeah.
And one thing, Dan, I was gonna add to that is not everybody hobbies differently. I mean, the same. Everybody hobbies differently, so we have to understand, like, if we do things a certain way, and it took me a while to figure that out. Like, I would get upset, internally, be like, why can't this person do this or that? But I had to realize, like, we all come from different walks of life. We're all different people, and we all hobby differently. So, for me to say, I think I'm doing a perfect job in the hobby because I'm doing X, Y, and Z. If somebody else is not doing it, doesn't mean they're not doing a great job in the hobby. They're just 100%. Doing it a little differently. And I think when you get into your like groups and stuff like that and things that we're talking about, I mean, it's, you learn to weed out, the good and the bad, pretty quickly, because there's always those initial signs of people who are, you can tell, like, you'll get a guy come in your group and certain things will happen, and right away you'll be like, I got to keep my eye on this guy, right? Or girl, whoever it is, and say, like, I think something's up, and your gut is probably pretty right.
Yeah. 100%. And with your guys' experience, I want to hear, I don't know if you guys have one on the spot or not, but a horror story and then maybe a good story on Facebook. Just each of you. I'm curious because you guys have done way more Facebook deals probably individually than me and Ken combined.
So
go ahead. And
so my horror story kind of blends both Facebook and real world. So it kind of Adam probably knows where this is going with. So when it kind of ties back to my getting back into the hobby story. When I got back to the hobby, I started helping out at a shop in Beverly. The guy who ran that shop, scumbag. Like, at the end of the day, like, he just was not a good dude. I didn't know any better. He had a shop. I figured if you have a shop, you have to be doing something right. And so I helped out there, and lo and behold, he was doing shady business. He was submitting cards where, or he's taking PSA subs, subbing for people, cleaning them, doing all the prep work, whatever. And then he would have people pay up front. And then when it came time to get the cards from PSA, he would have spent that money and didn't have the money to pay PSA for the subs to get the cards back. Cards were sitting there, yada, yada. It happened a couple times. But in this one instance, was dealing with somebody through Facebook who my cards were looped in with a sub with his, and he tried blasting me on the scammers page saying that I was in cahoots with this shop owner, that, you know, we were trying to scam him over. This kid was nuts. And he somehow ended up getting somebody to work with PSA to get the cards all back to his, mailed back to him. And I had like 2 or 3 big cards in that sub. It was like a couple Justin Fields numbered autos at the time when they were like decent value. And he just wouldn't send them back to me. And he was holding on to
became the scammer.
Yeah. And so that was like, so that whole thing. And then the shop owner was just completely out to lunch, didn't care, MIA, didn't do anything. And it took going through my channels with the Facebook connections that I've made to back channel and kind of mediate that situation. But it ended up, the kid blocked me initially on Facebook, wouldn't communicate. I had to go through back channels again, like I said, to get people to communicate with him and have him unblock me, to the point where after, I think it was like a month and a half, I got the cards back and had to double pay for the PSA sub just to be able to get my cards.
Back. Yeah.
But and then good stories. I mean, like I said one before, like the people who, you know, you have fair dealings with, you know, and the stand-up folks in the community that in the hobby that, you know, when something goes wrong, that they're willing to make it right. Or, you know, I had a guy when the PC I was telling you about earlier with the cards trying to spell out my my son's full name. He posted that he had some of these Red Sox cards, but he wasn't really looking to sell one. And it happens to be one of the letters I needed. And, you know, when I told him what it was for, he was more than happy to part with one of them to help along the journey. So things like that, when you have people come together in the hobby that are willing to help each other out, that's always cool to see.
Nice. Yep.
All right. So I looked at the questions you guys sent me and I was like trying to think of a horror story. Like, luckily I've been relatively safe, but I did get caught in a scam. I don't read the scammers page as much as our friend Keith. And I called Keith. I was wicked excited about this Lamar Optic Auto rookie that I bought. Big bucks, you know, not the craziest, but it was a lot of money. And I was like, yeah, dude, he was like so far under comps. And he's like, did you pay goods and services? I go, yeah, of course. And whatever the new scam was, that they were using that as credit. So I never got the card. I paid goods and services. I thought I was safe, but it was fraudulent, and I had to wait like, I don't know, what's it, 60, 90 days to get my money back on this.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
So I was protected, but like that's a big chunk of money.
Yeah.
Invested into one card that I now have to wait. So I would think that was the worst thing that happened. I mean, I have so many good stories though. Back to the PC talk, like telling, you know, putting messages in the group and just saying, hey guys, I'm looking for Patriot autos, and countless people, and you know, and I hated it, but like they were just like, they gave me cards. And you know, look up at CardZar gave me like 3 or 4 autos I was looking for, just handed them to me. It's just during one of my claim sales, I mislabeled a package, and I sent 2 of my, you know, 2 guys that buy for me consistently. I sent them the wrong packages. This guy, Cody Thornton, shout out, he's in the group, great guy. He messaged both of us and said, hey, I got the wrong cards. And I was like, all right, let me send you for shipping. He's like, dude, don't worry about it. I already shipped them. I know where they're going. I talked to Jacob and like just took care of it for me. Like it was just, you know, that could have been a big issue, or at least someone could have been upset, you know, or lied or kept the cards. But I was really like, of all the questions, this is the one that kind of, I've been lucky, I guess, because I don't have that many horror stories, thankfully.
Yeah.
So that's the worst one, the Lamar Optic.
Hey, that's
if that's the worst one, you're doing okay.
Yeah. Unless I'm forgetting something, it's possible. But I was really trying to.
Hey Ken, do you have any? Do you have any Facebook horror stories?
Not so much horror stories. I mean, I worked in a prison for almost 30 years. I don't trust anybody. It's hard to get me to trust anybody when I don't know them, and I really try to protect myself. But I do know I was on the opposite side I was getting into this guy's breaks, and they were low budget, and he went kind of big. It was, an expensive break. The box was big, and there was a couple jerseys, autographed jerseys involved and stuff. And it was right around the holidays. And I said, I'll jump in. And I got skunked. I got nothing. And then a few weeks later, I get this package showed up in the mail with like $1,000 card and a jersey, an autographed jersey in it. And I'm like, what is going on? And I open it up and I look, and I remembered that jersey from that break. And then I'm looking at the guy who sent it to me, and I'm like, oh, he made a mistake. So I messaged him, and it turned out the guy he was sending it to was in Massachusetts, and I'm in Connecticut, and he was in like Chicago or something. I don't even remember where he was. But I was like, you know what? I closed the box back up. I bought a label to the guy it was going to, and I shipped it to him. And then when I went to go get into his next break, he's like, don't pay me. Don't pay me. I appreciate you doing that. But that's just one of those things in the hobby that you're just happy to do things for other people in the hobby. Here's a guy who's was providing some entertainment for me. He made a mistake. I'll help him out. And then, not expecting anything back, it came time for another break. He was like, yeah, don't buy. It's on me. Don't worry about it. So, and I think that's what the hobby's about, right? I think your group is probably similar to that. Your tight knit group and people that I choose to, hang out with and do things in the hobby. I mean, we don't expect it, but we just know it's going to happen. Everybody's a stand-up guy.
Well, I got to be honest. I didn't expect to, but one popped in my mind. I have quite a juicy. Well, it's the subsidiary. It's Instagram, but Facebook owns Instagram now, so I think it counts. Dude,
you got fake Tom Brady down.
That's nothing. This is nothing. This is absolutely.
I know
nothing.
That's not a cheap card right there.
No, it is not. But I got my money back after like the 60 days or whatever that happened to you. Back when Ja Morant had that ascension, remember he was like everything. He was the guy. I traded, and it was like comp for comp, pretty close. I traded that away for a Patrick Mahomes BGS 9.5 pink optic rated rookie. And when I say that, it was a Ja Morant BGS 9.5 auto of his silver rookie penmanship, which it was a really big card at a time. When I traded it away, it was valued around $1,200, and the Mahomes was right around there, teetering back and forth. So I sent it away, and then the package came in. I opened the package. It was like 20 base mosaic cards. And of course, this is a trade, right? Like, I'm screwed, what you would think. So then I go to message the guy. I'm blocked, of course. About a month and a half goes by. I had a different Instagram account that was related to like reselling like thrift clothes, sneakers sort of things that I did prior when I was in college. And I messaged him just like, because I followed him on that account. He didn't know it was me. And he was posting some cards for sale. And I was like, hey, and he had a Ja Morant. I was like, oh, do you have any other Prism Ja Morant cards? Like, and he ended up like, yeah, look at this card. Sure enough, he still had my card like a month later. And this was like a shot in the dark, dude. And I was like, oh, cool. I was like, you mind just hopping? Like, we could just do a quick video chat so I could see that you know, that it's legit. You got it, whatever. This dumbass hops on the video call, and I screenshot him face with the freaking card. And it was out in Santa Maria. And I got in contact with the police department out there. I had his address. I had his face with the picture. I had all that. And then he made some BS story up about how, oh, he bought it off some kid at a show and da-da-da-da-da and all this. And no. But anyways, I ended up getting the card back. And when I went to sell it, I sold it for $2,500.
Hey.
So I sold it right before a job blew up. And then I ended up, not sell. I traded at that value, and then I got it back and sold. So it was a full karma moment. But that was my craziest. And you know what? I got to give credit to my wife, because I was like all jacked up, like shaking after I got him on the camera and got his picture. So she was like playing hardball, messaging him like she was like a I was like too jacked up.
Arm in
Speaking.
him.
I was like,
My
I
muscle.
got that mother effer. I was like, I mean, dude, he got me for a lot of money at that point in time. Like, and you know, base cards, like, you know, just mosaic base. Like, so that was my best card, but best story. But actually,
yeah. So
thank God
I
it
guess
turned out
I'm lucky.
happy.
I'm lucky.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. And the cop I called from Santa Maria, he was like, oh dude, I got you. I collect cards too. I was like, I called.
Oh
yeah.
Yahtzee.
So, I told him, I was like, I had a case number, I had all this, and I gave it to him. And he's like, well, I did nothing wrong. He's like, I'm gonna go tell my parents. I'm like, get your dad on the phone. I'll talk to him. Tell him that you're a little scammer. You know what I mean? Like,
this was
like,
a kid. How old was he?
I mean, you know, his name must have been like Caden Braden Brett. It was something like that with the freaking haircut. And you know exactly what I mean. Probably had a Supreme bag. You know exactly what I mean. And he's probably like 17. Just that annoying age where he's like, you can't get me. I didn't do anything. You know, yeah, exactly. But anyways, I got my card back. So.
It's like that reminds me, like there's a kid who I actually haven't seen him around. Adam, you know who this kid was. He's like it's those kids who are like 17. There's a lot of really good ones. They hustle. Like some of these younger kids, they hustle and they have cards. Like,
dude,
repacker connects that are insane and
dude,
whatever.
These kids are little gangsters.
But there's this one kid who was always at all the CC's.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
What we're talking about. The kid got caught up. He got too big for his britches and was selling to a repacker and decided that he was going to skim cards off of it. So he'd sell like a sheet. He'd sheet cards to a repacker, send him a spreadsheet. They'd agree on a deal. And say there was 100 cards in the deal, he would only send them 97 of the cards. But the guy was getting hundreds of cards from all these different people. He wasn't realizing it. Then this little shithead went on and made a TikTok about how he was doing this. And it got back to the repacker.
This is not what I thought you were going to bring up.
Oh, no. It got back to the repacker, and the kid was like this close to getting banned from all local shows, and like everybody, like I actually haven't seen him at shows for a while. I remember it all kind of broke this past summer, I think it was.
I don't know what I don't know what you're talking about. I really don't.
I don't want to like put him on blast, but I'll tell you.
You don't want to give his name, address, and social security number.
I actually don't even know his name. I just know him from seeing the shows.
I thought you were going to bring up the kid and his mom. That's what I thought. That kid.
Oh, that one. I guess I could. I don't know how much time we have for stories.
I ever witnessed in my life.
The one at the Foxwood show.
Yeah.
Oh no, the Gillette show. The Gillette show. Quick story. A kid came up, and this isn't even a kid. This dude's he's like 70. He's not. When I say kid, it's not like 10-year-old kid. But
17 or 70? You said 17. I was like, he's 70 with his mom going to a show. That's just impressive.
I mean, yeah. But 17, 18, 16, however old he is. The kid has plenty of cards, and he knows cards. He knows values.
He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
For years.
He comes up to my table. He's like, I need a Tom Brady card. I need it quick. I'm trying to make a deal, blah, blah, blah. I had like a Tom Brady Topps Hollow, or Optic Hollow, whatever the hell it was, and PSA 10. He grabbed it, paid my sticker price, walked off, and whatever. Hour later, all of a sudden, his mom comes like storming over. I'm like in the middle of a deal with like my table just swarmed of people, and his mom's like, "You screwed my son over, you son of a b." Like I'm like, who the hell is she yelling at? And I look over, and she's staring at me, waving her arm, like, you scam my son. I'm like, what are you talking? Everybody at my table is like, what is she talking about? She goes, you sold my son a Tom Brady card. She has it in his hand, or it was I don't know if it was Tom Brady or T-Law, one of the two, whoever it was. And she's like, has the card. She puts it down on the table. Is like, you scam my son. He sold him this for however much. It was like $100, $60, whatever. It's not worth that. And I was like, first off, he picked the card. I didn't tell him anything. He picked the card and paid the price. I didn't say anything. That's all it was. She goes, well, your sticker price was too high. I was like, okay, I didn't comp it. Whatever.
Yeah.
He didn't negotiate. He just paid it. Not my problem. And she's making a freaking scene,
she was.
screaming. And I'm like, you know what? Give me the card back. Here's the money. Just get out of my face.
We see them all the time.
See them all the time. The same mom. I shit you not. We're at Flippin' Show maybe 6 months, like a year and a half later. She's going through my value box. I have my value box that's, cards that are probably, $5 to $50. But then I have my dollar box and my 50-cent box. They're marked accordingly. Like the dollar box says all cards are $1, this box only, 50 cent, this box only. And then the $50, 5 to 50, all have price stickers on them. She hands me a bunch of cards, or she says, I got a bunch of cards. I have 5 cards for your value box, $5. And I was like, something made me say, can I see the card? I usually just am like, take people's words, whatever. I said, can I see the cards? She flips them over. $50 card, $30 card, $10 card. Like she had like $150 worth of cards. She's trying to get them for $5. I was like, these aren't dollar
scream
cards.
At her and tell her she was trying
No,
to
I should have. I was just like, I should have, but I was just like, what do you like? These aren't. She's like, these are all $1. I was like, no, these are priced with stickers. She's like, oh, I didn't know those are prices. I was like, so it just, and she tried to play dumb, and I was like, you know what? It shows you the caliber of people that these people are, and I don't buy from the person anymore, and I don't sell to them, and I don't like the kid comes up to my table every show still and tries to buy off me, and I'm like, I'm good.
I never do deals with him because of that, but I do love her because that was awesome.
Yeah, it was
Dan's kryptonite is a Karen.
Yeah, it was.
He got Karen, dude.
It was so bad. And the people after she left the table, everybody was like, "What the fuck was that? Like, what happened?" Like, they were just like, "What was that?" And there's this kid Matt Petronic was sit up next to me. He's like, "I saw the deal happen. The kid just bought it from you without." And it was the most unbelievable experience. It was wild.
I see her every show, Causeway, Flipping, her and her son just.
Yeah, she's the definition of white trash, but I'll.
She's.
I wonder if she watches the Hobby Chop.
Oh, no.
Well, she'll be commenting with some serious emojis on this YouTube video.
Yeah.
She made it this long.
I'll see her at the next Flipping. What are you doing?
I just send her to Dan every time she comes to my. Oh no, he'll like that.
Yeah. He does though. It's actually funny. You think he's kidding, but he actually does.
I believe it. The mayor has to delegate. That's right.
Dude, it's so funny. You do run into some characters. We could have a whole show about the people you run into.
We sure could.
Great shows are great people watching. People watching.
My wife walked into one show like to pick up my kid. He stayed till noon and was ready to go, and just her look on her face, and then the conversation when I got home, she goes, "What is wrong with you?"
I don't let my wife go to the shows. My wife's never gone to a show. I don't even know if I've had her drop me off ever at a show or anything. I'm just like, nah, it's not for you.
I will say, Flipping has become just this just so many different shapes and sizes of people. You'll see normal people, just the people you wouldn't expect to see there, and then you can tell the true hobbyers, and I respect the fuck out of them, man. They're my favorite. The ones I like, the ones that carry the notepad. They're still looking for stuff. They got their cards are still in a plastic bag. I love that. That's
and a magnifying glass. And a magnifying glass.
For the set, yeah. No, I actually respect that so much.
The
set collector.
Doing it for 40
that's a grind.
Years. We're the ones ruining the hobby.
I remember the guys that used to
1965 card since 1967.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Adam, the older guys used to set up and sit at Matt Atwood's dime boxes.
Yes,
these guys would every
8 hours
would sit there the entire show and go through his 10-cent boxes. And they would pull a stack out this tall of just dime cards and buy them. They'd spend like $50 on dime cards.
How
which is
happy
like,
was he, though?
you know, I mean, that would love it because he's like moving this stuff like crazy. But these guys would just, they pull up a chair. There's no chairs. There's barely any chairs in the whole place. They find two chairs.
Where did those chairs come from?
Yeah, there's never enough for the
My
vendors.
son sat on the floor
They bring the
last
chairs.
Yeah,
They summon them.
But they literally
hobby
sat there, and the
powers.
whole
Yeah.
time they just going through the dime boxes and just buying. It was
Those
wild.
guys, we owe them a lot. We owe
Yeah.
those guys a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding, but yeah,
And we owe COVID a lot too. None of us
Yeah.
would be here without
Yes.
COVID.
Yeah.
COVID. Yeah, if it wasn't for COVID, I would not be here.
So I mean, we're over an hour and a half here, but I have to ask
Wow.
you before we finish up, what were you guys doing before COVID? What was your hobby or your thing before COVID?
I coach high school football, and that takes up so much of my time, and it's not time that I love it. I love every second of it. Gradually over the last 4 or 5 years, I've said out loud, which it's crazy for me to say that I like cards more than coaching now. To the point where I'm actually, for the first time in 16 years, not coaching football this fall. You know, so I'm excited to see what that's going to be like. But before COVID, football all day long.
Any players that have cards?
What do you mean? Like
You have
my
any
players?
former players, because that becomes an automatic PC, I would assume.
So in 2016, EJ Perry was the quarterback for Andover. He ended up going to Brown University and getting drafted or unsigned rookie. Why am I saying that?
Undrafted.
Free agent.
Undrafted rookie for the Jaguars. My quarterback that year is playing professional in Europe, but I bet we could find an EJ Perry card. I mean, he's in Madden. Like, I've played with him on Madden video games. So like, he made it. He's there.
Yeah.
So I would be intrigued. Oh my God, that's such a lie. The running back / cornerback for Everett. I can't think of his name right now. He ended up going to Michigan. He was captain of Michigan. He's the nickel cornerback for the Washington Redskins right now.
Oh, nice.
Mike, dang, I can't think. He was a first round draft pick. Unbelievable. They won the state championship that year. I remember walking out on the field before the game and watching him warm up. And I remember walking back into the tunnel and being like, oh, okay. Yeah. We got no chance in hell on this team. But yeah, I guess I could have his card, but
That'd be like a hate PC. It's like
I don't want that. Yeah, I don't want EJ. Too. We beat EJ though. We beat EJ. We beat him. Kid was unbelievable. He averaged like 490 yards a game in high school. Like, it was stupid. Stupid what he could do. But yeah, that was it. Football for me. Daniel, math class, right?
Yeah. No.
adjusting insurance claims.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically, insurance work was my life. I probably, like, my biggest hobby before that was, I have a lot of friends in the music industry, so just like in the music scene, so it was really just concerts and stuff. But obviously COVID kind of put a real damper on that. You couldn't really do any of those, any of the concerts and stuff. So I mean, really now this is my biggest hobby. Golfing. I like golfing. It's like, but
This is my hobby.
yeah, this is my hobby now. This is like the biggest thing, and it's fun now. My daughter's 3, so she, I bought some of the Disney packs and we rip them, and she loves like pulling. We never hit anything big, but like she just loves seeing the princess cards and all that stuff. It's fun.
Dude,
and
my son's he's 8 years old. Him and Jared's kid, dude. My son's got a stack.
Yeah.
He comes to all the trade nights. He goes to the shows. He puts cards in my case now. It's friggin' awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
I found a Lightning McQueen just base card, and that was I spent several grand at the last Mohegan show, and my favorite pickup was that like $1 Lightning McQueen base card because I brought it home for my son, and he was just
Yes, sir.
he loves it.
Yeah.
Trying to dance with it in like a circle, So.
Yeah. My son got his first case. He's got his case right back here. He's got like a little PC set up in his room of his cards. I'm passing this hobby down to him, and I love it.
Yeah.
Well, you've got plenty of years together doing it, right? Before
Future mayor.
Yeah.
A couple more before he finds out his dad's a huge nerd. You know, take it
Well,
day by
guys,
day.
this has been awesome. I'm so happy you guys came on. Great episode.
Thanks for having us.
Tell everybody where they could find you if they want to reach out, if they have questions, if they want to become part of the Cardboard Association. Who do they talk to, or how do they get in? Learn the secret handshake or
We
whatever
can't
it
give
is
it
they
out
need
now,
to know.
but yes.
Yeah, so I mean,
yeah.
Facebook, the Cardboard Association. Feel free to join.
Perfect.
Adam's holding it up there. Just you can just answer a couple questions. We ask, just be respectful, be fun, be chill. You can find
Yes,
me on. What was that?
I was going to say, sorry, I shouldn't have interrupted. I was just see us at the shows.
Yeah, see us at shows, and then Instagram. I'm at the _DK. No, the _CBA_DK. So add me on Instagram. I'm trying to build up my Instagram following. I'm not admittedly as active on there as I should be, but trying to build that up a bit.
Yeah, and I'm CBA_Joff, JOFF. Join the room. I'd love to have you. Simple couple questions before you get in there, but nothing crazy. Come see us at the local shows in Massachusetts. Flippin' Show in Woburn. Actually, it's this Saturday, 8:30 to 1:30 at the Crown Plaza. But we're between there and the Causeway Show in Boston. Again, join the Facebook group, follow us on Instagram, and let's go.
Sounds good. Zip, anything else?
Nah, we said enough tonight. It was a great episode. I couldn't have been happier with tonight. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely a good episode. Well, look, I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank everybody for listening. Please like, please subscribe, and we may be back next week, maybe with it. Definitely the week after. I'm going to be traveling next week, so so you may get a surprise episode next week. If not, definitely the week after. Fellas, again, thank you for being on. Great episode.
Appreciate
Thank you.
guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night, boys.
see ya.
Take care.